Hi, we're going to talk a little bit about the assessment plan. The assessment plan is one of the key assessments in this course, and so I just wanted to take an opportunity to go through and explain a little bit about what's expected in each of the stages, how it's broken up, and what the overall plan entails. The assessment plan really provides you a chance to show what you know. We've talked a lot this semester about different types of assessments, formative assessments, summative assessments, when we use different types of assessments, how to create different types of assessments. And now it's time for you to think about the question, now that I know all this, what will I do with it? How will I make this a part of my own teaching and my own planning? So the assessment plan really provides you a chance to put it all together. The assessment plan contains a number of parts, and I've broken them up so that we can work on them systematically together. The first portion is where you figure out what it is that you want to focus your assessment plan on. So you need to think about a unit, perhaps, that you teach that lasts approximately 2 weeks in length, and that will kind of be the focus of this plan. Then we think more carefully about the exact results that we're looking for. At the end of this unit, we're hoping students are able to know and do what. Then we think about the assessments. How will I know that students get there? How will I know that students are doing well along the way? They're processing the way that we'd like them to towards whatever achievement we're hoping that they attain. And then finally, an opportunity for you to talk about this assessment plan yourself. So the first part of this assessment plan is pretty simple. You just need to figure out what it is that you are going to create a unit on. Think about a topic, think about a particular curricular area. Ideally, we would like a unit that is approximately 2 weeks in length, just because if it's anything that's shorter than that, it's sometimes hard to come up with enough assessments for us. And if it gets too long, it sometimes is hard to manage that as well. So right around 2 weeks usually seems to be best. And then think about the grade level or the group of students that you'll be working with. If you are not teaching in a K-12 classroom, think about, again, something that you could do with within your workplace that you would be asking people to learn more about and to show whether or not they are understanding that. The next piece is identifying our desired results. What exactly is it that we want this unit to do? At the end of this unit, we want our students to know and be able to do what? So for those of you teaching in K-12 settings, this is where you will identify the specific standards that this unit will meet. If you're outside of that setting, think about the different standards or objectives or goals that guide some of the work that you do. And then you're going to identify the specific learner outcomes. Once you've identified what it is you want students to know and be able to do, you're going to think about how you will assess that. And this is what we've spent a great deal of our time on this semester, is creating formative and summative assessments that give us that kind of information. So for this particular assessment plan, you'll need to create 2 formative assessments that help you and help your students know how they're doing along the way. These 2 formative assessments can be actual, assessments that you give students, or they can be assessments that you use in terms of a checklist of monitoring behaviors, of asking students questions, just 2 ways that you will know whether or not students are getting it along the way. You will also need to then provide a copy of those assessments or descriptions of those assessments, and then a commentary, approximately 1 to 2 pages. You will also need to create 2 summative assessments. And of course, you've had lots of practice already creating different types of assessment, so this should be a task that's not too difficult for you. One of your 2 summative assessments needs to be a performance assessment. Again, you'll need to provide a checklist for students so that they know that each piece of that is being taken care of. You'll also need to create a rubric that assesses the performance. And then for the other summative assessment, you can choose whatever type you'd like. It can be fill in the blank, multiple choice, essay, however it is that you want to assess students and what. The last portion of the assessment plan is the final reflection, and it basically asks you to think about two questions. What role does assessment play in planning instructional activities and in unit planning? Is that different now than perhaps it was prior to taking this course?